we go to the scorecards. So here at the MGM Grand Garden in Las Vegas, getting ready for the WBA Super Featherweight Championship, Joel Casamayor versus Radford Beasley. The introductions from our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we present our second event in our triple-header World Championship night of action. This bout coming away is brought to you by Don King Productions in association with America Presents, along with Showtime Championship Boxing and the MGM Grand. This bout is once again sanctioned by the World Boxing Association, the President Gilberto Mendoza, Supervisor Bolivar y Casa, along with the Nevada State Athletic Commission. The timekeepers assigned for tonight's action, also keeping count of the knockdowns, we have James Cavan and Mike Lasella. Introducing at this time our three judges scoring the bout from ringside. First, from Las Vegas, Nevada, we have Bill Graham. From Denmark, we have Ove Ovesen. And from Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico, Alejandro Rochin Mapula. And introducing to you our referee in charge of this bout, working in this, his sixth world title bout, Vic Draculich. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBA Super Featherweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first on my left, the challenger fighting out of the blue corner. Entering the ring wearing white trunks with red trim, fighting out of and representing his hometown of St. Louis, Missouri. His weight 129 and 1/2 pounds. His record is unblemished at 19 wins, no losses, 13 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the WBA North American Super Featherweight Champion. Tonight the challenger, ranked the WBA number 8 Super Featherweight contender, introducing Radford, the man Beasley. And his opponent across the ring is the defending world champion. On my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red, white, and blue trunks, originally from Guantanamo, Cuba, now fighting out of Miami, Florida. His weight came at the super featherweight limit of 130 pounds even, an Olympic gold medalist. His professional record stands at an undefeated 22 wins, no losses, with 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the undefeated WBA Super Featherweight Champion of the World, Joel El Cepillo Casamayor. Once again, a referee in charge, Vic Draculich, now to give instructions, 12 rounds of boxing schedule.
All right, gentlemen, this is for the WBA Super Featherweight title. You received your instructions in the dressing room. And remember, hit him here above, I won't call it low. Here and above, I won't call it low. When I say break, I want you to stop punching, and I want you to take your mandatory step back. At this time, are any questions?
No.
Any questions from Chief Seconds?
Yeah, belt, not below.
Not
on
below.
The belt school, right?
That's fine.
Got it.
All right. Gentlemen, obey my commands. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch them up. Good luck to both of you.
Slick southpaw with superior boxing skills. That's Joel Casamayor, blazing hand and foot speed, fundamentally sound, although methodical combination puncher with extreme accuracy. The challenger, Radford Beasley, virtually untested, but a well-schooled boxer puncher, good punching power. He's won 5 of his last 6 by knockout. He's never faced anybody the caliber of Joel Casamayor, though. Casamayor has lost only a handful of rounds in his career. He hasn't really been threatened, but a slow starter historically who gains momentum as the fight progresses. Beasley with a good jab, good movement, and in the past been able to pick his opponents apart. Casamayor 22-0 with 13 KOs. Beasley 19-0 with 13 knockouts.
Beasley actually has a slighter reach advantage, but not the speed, and that jab contest is going to be all Casamayor's.
Beasley said he's fought 3 or 4 southpaws, all W's. He calls Casamayor a conventional southpaw. There's something you don't hear every day.
Phrase I've never heard before.
A new phrase being coined by Beasley because he doesn't feel he's a slick southpaw. Beasley, very confident, told us he'll shut Casamayor down by staying busy, controlling him with the jab. We'll see. Casamayor, wearing the flag of Cuba, told us he planned to go out like he always does, control the tempo from the beginning, and pica, which means touch.
He does throw a lot of punches, and he likes to keep something in his opponent's face at all times. One of his keys to victory is going to do just that, because it'll offset the power that Beasley has. Big right hand there by Beasley,
and then
he got caught with a
left hook by Casamayor right on the jaw. A quick reply from the champion. Casamayor told us the desire never leaves him, no matter who he's fighting, whether it's Jean Kwambek for the title or Radford Beasley.
He's landed a couple of good solid shots, and he's gotten Casamayor's attention. One right hand and a left hook.
Casamayor, that one was blocked by the right elbow of Beasley. Joel feels that Beasley's a good boxer, but has never fought anybody with his experience.
The experience factor is not that big here. You know, you have to discount to a great degree the amateur experience that Casamayor had. They only have 3 fights difference in their professional careers. That's not a wealth of experience, and the names there are not big.
Unless you want to count the 380-plus fights that Casamayor had as an amateur. I realize it's a big difference as Casamayor lands with a stinging left there. Big difference between the amateurs and the pros. But that's around 400 fights. That's a lot. Why can some fighters make the transition better than others from amateur to pro? What makes them stand out?
Some of the guys in the amateurs just stay there too long, and their bodies are used and abused. They've just exhausted everything that they have in the amateurs. 500, 600 fights. There are guys that have spectacular careers when they turn pro. They didn't have much left. So by the time they learned and got the experience to go 8, 10, 12 rounds, it was too late.
Final seconds of round 1. Beasley opens it up at the end of the round. And slipped there just before the bell by Casamayor in front of his corner. Beasley wanted more.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Manny Vasquez, our translator.
You gotta box him. You gotta box him. Move fast. You're faster than he is. You got experience.
Right.
You understand?
Este mano.
Okay, mano.
Okay. Este mano.
You got it, brother.
Arriba su jab también.
Hook,
Okay.
jab.
Okay.
Take a look at that slip. Casamayor backing up. His foot gets right in the corner where there's probably a little bit of water. He goes down, and Beasley takes a swipe at him, and Casamayor comes up, taking a few swipes back. From the overhead, we'll just watch the left foot of Casamayor as he backs up. Watch it just slip right out from under him. He gets in that, his right foot, excuse me, and hits that water, and it's right out from under him. Be a dangerous corner.
Very slick in the corner, yes. Round 2, the slow pace of the opening round has somewhat quieted this MGM Grand Garden crowd after a raucous first fight featuring Shambe Mitchell. This is for the WBA Super Featherweight Championship scheduled for 12.
If Beasley's going to win the fight, he has to be more effective. He has to actually force more of a brawl. He has the power, but the boxing skills from the outside, he cannot match Casamayor.
Beasley does have power in both hands. Good ring technician. Likes to pound to the body and slow his opponents down, break them down systematically.
But he's not keeping enough pressure on to execute anything that would be serious toward considering a 5 or 6 round, 7 round knockout. He talked about mid-fight, this guy being exhausted and beat up. He's not applying that type of pressure.
He's normally much more aggressive, but understandable that he's being a little more cautious here against the vaunted Casamayor.
Casamayor is the proverbial sharpshooter. He's very quick, and he hits you in and out, just like that, banging out, pick you apart.
Like that. Crisp, short left hook off the head. And then that beautiful jab of Casamayor. There's a left-right combination by Casamayor.
Beasley needs to come in behind a double and triple jab, push Casamayor to a corner, back him up to the ropes, and then fire that power.
But it's Casamayor backing Beasley up. There's an old belief that Cuban fighters in general are great counter-punchers. Some believe Cuban fighters are 3-round fighters. Casamayor averages 5 rounds. He's been 12 rounds 3 times, 10 rounds twice, all wins, of course, all coming in his last 8 fights. Beasley feels he's stronger at 130. He's a natural featherweight, which is 126.
Here we see the speed and the legs of Casamayor getting him out of trouble. Beasley chasing, but not hitting anything but air.
And Casamayor delivers a swift left, then a combination to the head.
And he rocked Beasley.
Beasley shakes his head no, which usually means you're hurt. There's another straight left right through the defensive gloves. And another straight left through the gloves by Casamayor. Scoring at will. And then dashing away. Now Casamayor staging a boxing clinic.
That was a classic case of hit and run without a car.
Oh, yes. And Beasley still looking for the license.
And he's headhunting for that license. He's staying way up top too often, not working the body, trying to slow Casamayor down.
There's another left with 10 seconds remaining in round 2. We told you about the current world champions in the impressive 130-pound division. How about these guys? Diego Corrales, Floyd Mayweather, Joel Casamayor, who's here tonight, and Acelino Freitas, the charismatic fighter from Brazil, who's 26-0 at 26 knockouts. We'll see him next Saturday night from outside Toronto here on Showtime Championship Boxing. He's the only current champion with a perfect knockout record. Here's a cut.
It looks like a pretty bad cut, too. Let's take a look and see where it might have happened. Beasley's trying to get him into corner. There's a nice left hand. That might have been the one that opens the cut, or one of the ones following, but they were on the mark.
And it could be a rough one because the blood could find its way into the eye and blur the vision of Radford Beasley. As if he doesn't have his hands full enough against the slick Joel Casamayor. In and out, in and out. Casamayor touching, then getting out. Stick and move. Casamayor is saying, that all you got?
See, he's so quick with his hands and feet, Steve, he can get away with things that the average fighter cannot.
Look at that move.
That would be frustration settling in.
Beasley hitting nothing but air, and then a straight hammer-like left by Casamayor. And Beasley's face really beginning to bloody now.
Beasley's forgetting the jab altogether. He's trying to counter with lead hooks and straight rights. He's got to work in behind the jab. Simple basics. Get there as quick as you can with the jab, then unload.
These punches by Casamayor beginning to take their toll. Crunching left hook off the side of Beasley's head. Look at Casamayor's form. He keeps those hands up beautifully. Right-left combination, Casamayor. He moves in and out so beautifully. So hard to hit him. Most people are so fascinated with the heavyweights, but tonight we show you compelling situations in the lighter weight classes. The boxing world does not revolve around the big men. While they certainly command much attention, there's a world beyond the heavyweights, and the stories of those in these lighter weight classes deserve to be heard. And Casamayor is one of them.
Beasley's getting a little more effective, closing the gap a little better, but right now it's just, he's just loading up too much, Steve, and he's missing those big shots and eating those jabs.
Casamayor in command. First title defense. Gold medalist for Cuba as a bantamweight at the 92 Barcelona Olympics. Most felt he would have won a gold again in 96, but he defected weeks before the Olympics.
See, it's one big counterpunch that Beasley's looking for. He has a one-shot knockout on his mind, and he's not landing it. He's not following up with any combination.
Final 10 seconds of the third round. An ultra-confident Casamayor.
chasing, baby. You got to get on the low, baby.
Got to bend them knees. The eye is fine. The eye is no problem anymore.
Your eye is gone. Double jab up. Double jab up, man. Come with right here. You turn him around. Make him come to you. Stop chasing it. Make him come to you. Make him stop chasing it.
Cut that ring off. You got me? Cut that ring off. Don't give this guy all that time to run and hide.
You got to bend your knees. You're too high. You're too high.
Let you know I ruled that as a result of a punch.
You got to bend your knees, baby, okay?
Go ahead, man. I know, 2 or 3 times. You got to keep your face out of the way.
Make yourself small.
Keep your face out of the way.
Give him the angle, all right? Give him the angle, baby.
The referee saying he ruled that cut the result of a punch, so there's no but rule in effect for that.
Round 4. Casamayor has totally controlled the pace of the first 3 rounds of this title fight, picking his opponent apart, Radford Beasley in the white. Casamayor off a 10-round decision over a fighter named Bernard Harris in July. Beasley undefeated, the number 8 WBA contender, 19-0. He last fought in February here in Vegas, a 5th-round TKO over a fighter named Renaud Rojas, and won the vacant WBA North American featherweight title. Beasley has never been on the canvas, and neither has Casamayor. Casamayor said as he nails Beasley with a straight left to the head, he said he was stunned once in the first round 2 fights ago against Jean-Quan Beck for the title, a short left hook. He said the thing that saved him was the conditioning factor. He's in such great shape.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's picking apart Beasley. He's just pot-shotting, taking his time, stopping, punching when he wants. There you see it. And Beasley's not offering much up. There's nothing for Casamayor to be leery of or worry about. He's just taking his time, doing whatever he wants.
Well, it's the boxer versus the slugger. The slugger is the bloodied Radford Beasley, but he's slugging nothing but air for the most part because the champion Casamayor is too quick, too elusive.
Watch your head coming in. Watch your head.
Look at the right eye and the mouth of Radford Beasley, full of blood, and that's not going to help his cause, that last flurry. And again, Casamayor, like Mitchell did earlier, surgically picking his opponent apart.
Beautiful straight left-hand counter by Casamayor, and again, the speed so overwhelming here that Beasley can't deal with it.
Everybody in Casamayor's weight division at 130, all the champions are undefeated, the only such division in all of boxing. That is an impressive class.
I'd like to see a round robin there, Steve. Those are a group of guys that don't want to give that up.
Mayweather, Freitas, Corrales, and Casamayor. Final seconds of round 4. It has been all Casamayor. Coming up next, our main event, it's the WBA middleweight championship. It'll be William Jaffe versus Frenchman Hassan Sharifi. Let's take you backstage into the dressing room of the champion. Looking live at William Jaffe as he gets gloved up. 30 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw with 23 knockouts. Some feel the most talented of the 160-pound champions. Will we ever truly find out? Title unification has been elusive. Tonight, the 4th defense of his 2nd reign against the former, albeit short-lived, WBC middleweight champ, Hassan Sharifi. That's coming up next for the middleweight belt.
Let the right hand go, man. Come on, okay?
Mouthpiece in.
Get down low, get down low. Bend the knees, okay? Get down the knees.
And we enter into round 5 for the Super Featherweight Championship, WBA.
Oh, straight left hand. Beasley was hurt.
Beasley's really in trouble. Casamayor trying to end it here. All over Beasley. Beasley gallantly trying to fight back.
Beasley trying to wind up and hopefully land one of these shots.
He's trying to take Casamayor down with him. A bloodied and battered Radford Beasley as Casamayor jumps on him to begin round 5. Will this get out of round 5? It doesn't look good for Beasley.
Right now, Beasley's having trouble not only standing, but seeing. The blood's everywhere.
He's trying to answer back and stay on his feet. He's staggered. Vic Draculis walking very closely. Will it be stopped? Yes. That's it. Beasley protests, but it was just a matter of time. It was academic.
Not only that, Steve, I think the cut was so bad through that set of sequences that it would have had to be stopped on that. It was bleeding badly.
And finally, they calm Beasley down. He says he's okay, and Joel Casamayor makes his first successful defense of the WBA super featherweight title in convincing fashion. As they attend to Radford Beasley, he got ripped up there over the right eye and in the mouth area. You can see the look of disappointment on his face. So Casamayor remains undefeated, going to 23-0 now with 14 knockouts. So who is the best in the impressive class of 130? Is it Casamayor? Is it WBC champ Floyd Mayweather? IBF champion Diego Corrales, who many feel is the best? WBO champ Acelino Freitas, who we'll see next Saturday night on Showtime.
My money's on Corrales.
Freitas, the Brazilian, brings his perfect knockout record, 26-0 with 26 knockouts, into Canada next Saturday night here on Showtime against a fighter named Carlos Rios. I'll tell you what, as Beasley continues to shake it off, the Latino population wouldn't mind seeing a matchup between Casamayor and Acelino Freitas someday. That'd be a great matchup as well. So Joel Casamayor ends it here in round 5 as he just pounced on Radford Beasley to open up the round.
He first got him in trouble, Steve, with a simple jab and left hand right down the middle. 1-2 right there. And watch his feet. His legs are not under him. He's trying to hide. His legs not under him. Goes back into the ropes and Casamayor cleans up on him. Never does he really get solid footing under him. He swings back to try and catch Casamayor running in, and he is a good puncher, but he's not throwing from solid feet. Casamayor stays on him, and it becomes a wrestling match. Again, watch this 1-2 right down the middle. Jab, left hand. Jab, left hand, right in the middle. And I don't think he ever saw that, Steve. I really don't. Those are the ones that hurt. And there we see the bad legs. Constantly in trouble, never able to get his footing. Beasley is in trouble.
Amazing he didn't go down.
Well, the ropes a couple of times kept him from flying into the audience, and eventually he tackles Casamayor sort of right here. The end of the fight, I think.
Oh, there's a fight breaking out.
Watching
a fight breaking out.
As he can.
A fight breaking out in the ring right now as we watch that last replay, and there is a little bit of activity going on, and Radford Beasley right in the middle of it, lower right-hand portion of your screen. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Bobby, but there was a skirmish breaking out. And I'm not exactly sure if it was Beasley trying to get at somebody there in the ring or what. But there is a very calm, cool Joel Casamayor, and they've calmed down Beasley.
Thank you.
But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, as you were looking at that last replay, I had my one eye on the replay, one on the ring, and there was bedlam. And it ended just as fast as it began. Thankfully, that's over.
We're going to look at the end of the fight again. Casamayor staying on top of Beasley. Beasley trying to wide shots, but not working. Big left hooks. He's just swinging for the rafters there. Casamayor staying patient, jabbing inside out, straight left hand, right hooks. And that's maybe just a tiny bit premature, but he got cleaned up quite a bit.
And while we were in replay, our tremendous production crew able to get this. Look at Jimmy Lennon Jr., our ring announcer, right there in the middle of it. Fortunately, he's okay. And it was Radford Beasley being held back. He didn't want this fight to end. He wanted to continue fighting Joel Casamayor. But it's officially over. Let's get the word from Jimmy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 52 seconds in round number 5. After a furious attack, our referee in charge, Vic Draculich, stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout, and still the WBA Super Featherweight Champion of the world, the undefeated Joel El Cepillo Casamayor.
Jimmy Lennon Jr. using the correct phrase, a furious attack. Let's go to Jim Hill.
Okay, Steve, thank you very much. Louis DeCubas is here to translate for Joel. Louis, will you ask him, was it just a matter of time before it was over?
Era más que el tiempo antes que la pelea se acabara, el tiempo cuando empezaste a abrir con la mano izquierda, el tiempo que la pelea se iba a acabar ya cuando estabas partiéndolo todo.
Sí, ya yo vi, ya empecé a hacer daño con él ya, y cuando le vendí la primera partida, pero lo dejé que él estaba apurado, me estaba presionando, yo estaba con calma, bloqueando el golpe, y ya en el segundo round empecé a meterle la mano derecha, y vi que entraba fácil, y yo quería que no llegara a ese round.
Yeah, I knew once I started touching with the jab and hitting him with the jab, the fight wasn't going more than 6 rounds. You know, he was putting a little pressure on me, but I was cautious, I was smart. I knew I could take him out, you know, but he's a good fighter, you know, he's a good fighter.
Radford said yesterday that he would win in 5 or 6 rounds, but instead it was Joel.
Radford dijo a todo el mundo que ya no queda a ti en 5 y 6, y fue Casamayor que lo noqueó en 5 y 6.
Sí, todo el mundo cuando pega un campeón dice que lo van a noquear, todo el mundo mejor ring. Abajo ring todo el mundo habla, pero cuando estamos arriba hay otra cosa.
He says everybody talks outside the ring, you got to do the talking inside the ring.
What happened after the fight was over? There seemed to be another skirmish between the two.
Oh, what happened? He just went to congratulate him. There was just a little, you know, scrumble on there, and I think they're a little upset. You know, they got beat. You know, it happens to undefeated fighters. You know, his kid is undefeated. You know, he's a winner. You know, and Joel took the undefeated away from him, so they get a little upset. That's just the nature of the game. You know.
There are a lot of people right now who will say that your fighter right here is the best in his division.
Well, without a doubt, this is the best 130-pound fighter in the world. Okay, and our promoter, Dan Goosen here from America Percents, is, you know, working out the best. We want to unify the title. We feel Frida's is a very good fight for us because we want to make it the biggest South and Central America fight of all times. Okay, it's huge, a Brazilian against a Cuban, but we also want Corrales and we want Mayweather. So it's up to our promoter, Mr. Dan Goosen, to put something together for us, and we'll let him handle that.
Did he execute his fight plan to perfection?
¿Tú hiciste tu plan perfecto?
Sí, yo hice el truco que me dijo John en la esquina. Y cuando uno hace caso de esquina y uno sabe, como yo tengo experiencia, yo sé que no tengo que farme con él. Movimiento a los lados, yo soy más rápido que él. Y así fue la victoria.
You know, he's got the best trainer in the world, he says, you know, Joe Goose, and he just listens to him, you know. He calls the shots inside that ring, and he tells him what to do, and he goes strictly about what he says. So he's you know, he's got the best trainer in the world, Joe Goose, and so he's happy with what his instructions in the ring are.
Was he trying to hurt him?
¿Tú estabas tratando de dañarlo con todos los golpes?
Sí, pero más con el jab que le hacía más daño. Pero también cambiaba abajo para el barichá. Pero ya vi que en la entrada los retos arriba y me caí con los retos arriba.
He says, you know, I was hitting with the jab at will, but once I found out that I was hurting to the body and he was lowering those hands, I was coming back with straight left hands.
Who does he want next?
¿Quién tú quieres próximo?
Bueno, yo quisiera pelear con Mayweather de Corrales, pero me gustaría pelear con Frita, que es una pelea buena para Centroamérica y Suramérica. Pero bueno, creo que no quiere pelear conmigo. No sé qué pasa.
You know, everybody thinks Fritas is the Duran, you know, of the year 2000, you know. So he wants, you know, Fritas, he likes to fight him, you know. But of course, his man is Mayweather and Corrales, but he feels Fritas, since everybody calls him in South America the Duran of the 2000s, he'd like to fight him, you know, the boxer against the slugger, and I guarantee you we'll stop him too.
All right, gentlemen, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and of course, good luck. Okay, here's Radford Beasley right here, and of course, Radford, a lot of people, you know, we saw a little bit of confusion. There seemed to be, you gentlemen wanted to continue the fight after it was already over.
First of all, I want to thank my Lord and God up above, and making it possible for me to get here safely. And to Casamayor, you know, he's a good fighter. You know, he didn't have no. I mean, he caught me with a good punch. You know, I've been in the ring with better fighters. I've been in the ring with Teron Millette, Angel Manfrey. I sparred with the best guys. I mean, he gave me some good. I got some good work. I feel that, you know, before this fight, I could have been a little more busy. I haven't fought since February. I had an opportunity to move up to 130 and take this fight, and I went ahead and took it. And I'm letting the world know that I will be back. All my fans at Knee House and the mobile station, all my buddies, everybody out there at the barbershop, everybody, I'm going to be back. The man ain't down. The man will be back. The man just had an off day, and I will be back, you understand, because I'm still the man.
Radford, you know, you cut over your right eye pretty bad. You cut over your left eye. You're bleeding from the mouth, and you still didn't want it to stop?
I mean, you know, I'm a warrior. You know, I'm a warrior. That's what warriors do. It's in my blood. I'm from the cradle. My grandfather, Earl Beasley, saw me in the cradle, and he said, look, that man going to be a world champion one of these days. I ain't started fighting until I was 21. I've only been in the game 9 years, and I think I done came a hell of a long way. Right. And I want everybody out there to know that I will be back, because I am still the man. I just had an off day. There ain't nothing to it. I will be back. I just had a bad day. I'm going to be back, you understand? I'm still the man.
Yesterday you said you were going to win in 5 or 6 rounds, but as it turned out, it was just the opposite.
I mean, you know, I mean, things happen. You know, it wasn't meant to be. The Lord up above didn't have it in the plan for me this time, but it will happen next time, because I'm still the man. I'm still thanking the Lord for the victory. And I'm telling you, all my fans out there, this ain't nothing. I'm going to be back, you understand?
Joel said that he executed his fight plan to perfection. It was hit and get out and to frustrate you. Did you get frustrated?
Well, you know, he was moving a lot. He got me a little frustrated. You know, he had a good move. I'm going to give it to him. I mean, he is, I've been in the ring with some hard punches. I've been up with Teron Millette. I mean, Manfred, I got Andre right at the gym. I think my sparring partners back at home, Don Juan Kelly. I mean, I'm going to be back. That's all I can say. He fought a good fight. I got to give it to him. He's a true champion. But I'm telling you, I will be back.
All right. Thank you very much.
The best